Welcome to You Can Call Me Goddess because you're so much more than a queen. My name is Manouk. I am a trained intuitive energy healer specialized in transforming your body and your life. In this podcast, we are going to be diving into everything to unlock the goddess that you are within you. Think of it as the ultimate glow up from the inside out. It's time to unlock your power. It's time to unlock your magic. So sit back and enjoy the show. Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the You Can Call Me Goddess podcast. I am so excited because I have a very special guest today on the podcast. Some of you who are listening may know him. His name is Nicky. I was going to say your last name already. That's how fast my brain was going. Yes. It was becoming one. Nicky Moriarty. I'm saying it right?
Yes. Yep.
And he is a fellow intuitive healer and has been doing this for many, many years, right? How long have you been doing this now, Nicky?
Man, I always say over 8 years at this point.
Yeah.
Yes, it gets a little blurry, like when it officially began, but it's been about over 8 years.
That's crazy. And I'm so excited because me and Nicky briefly met, like very briefly, met in one of the courses that we were both taking. And intuition told me to ask him on the podcast. So here we are. And I'd like to dive in. So Nicky, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get here? What do you do? Give us a little background.
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. This is so exciting to get to have this conversation, especially with a fellow intuitive, someone that just enjoys this work as much as I do, which is just like always 100%. So fun. We get to collaborate in that way.
Yeah.
I've been an intuitive for over about 8 years, 8+ years. I've been on this just journey, this adventure to access intuition. And to put it simply, my goal and my mission is to empower as many people as possible to live a life that's in accordance with what we are built to do in this world. When we develop our intuition, we're actually able to see the sort of imbalances that exist in people's lives that are holding them back from living that life that's in accordance with what they're meant to do. So simply my job is to help other people live life in accordance with that purpose and also help others develop their intuition. And all intuition really is simply, reading energy. It's learning the language of light. We are all, according to science, broadcasting, and you know this so well, which is broadcasting is EMF, an electromagnetic field.
Yeah.
That electromagnetic field, it's information. It's an array of energy. It has a frequency. It has a vibration. And so when you look through that intuitive lens, you're able to see, oh my gosh, people have a purpose. And if we're not in accordance with that purpose, we're going to feel stuck. We're going to feel like resistance, things of that nature. And so my job is to get people in accordance with that path and to live a life that's in accordance with empowerment.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah, for sure. 100%. And it's like, it's so difficult, right? When you get into this world, like even when I first heard like intuitive, I was like, I didn't really know. Like, I was like, oh, I don't know what that means. Like, because it's like this vague, loose term that we use a lot of the time, right? Like we know what it is, like a gut feel type thing. That's what we link it to. But then when you really start getting into this intuitive world and you start seeing that it's actually also linking you to me, it's like linking you to your power, like connecting you back to the magic that, like literally the magic that you hold within yourself and the ability to do so many things that you didn't even think that you were capable of. And that's what made me like I was like, let's go with this world. Like, I love it so much. Yes. I want to ask you, Nicky, because I know one of the interesting things that I would love to dive in with you as well. I want to know a little bit more about your story because I know you used to also, or you still do, right? Make music and things like that. Like that's what you wanted to do in the first place. And are still doing. And I'd love to hear more about that journey, but I'd also love, if we can, dive into your perspective, especially like the male perspective on intuition, because we often see that women very quickly go down the spiritual path way quicker and want to dive into this more. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on that and hear a little bit more about how you got here, how it's changed your life, and a little bit more about that journey, basically.
Totally. You have a great energy, by the way.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So it is interesting. I mean, there is this sort of, there's a lot of women find themselves more interested. I should say initially into this space.
Yeah.
And essentially intuition, it's a feminine trait. It's a feminine attribute. We all have feminine and masculine aspects of the self. The taking action aspect of intuition, that's masculine, but intuition is a receiving. and receiving has to do with the feminine. So a lot of women, you've heard like, that term out there, mother's intuition. A mother's intuition tends to be super strong and super incredible. It's not that men don't have incredible intuition, but it is a feminine trait. And so for more men to connect with that aspect of themselves, it's going to require them to connect with that divine feminine part of them. We all have both. If you're looking to strengthen the relationship with your inner femininity as a woman, it's actually going to require you to get to know those masculine aspects of the self, strengthen that relationship with the divine masculine. If you're looking to strengthen your relationship with masculinity as a man, it's also going to require you to get to know those feminine pieces of the self and strengthen your relationship with those pieces of the self. And so intuition, it is a feminine thing where you're receiving information. And you asked how I got into this world. Which is a good question. And pursuing music initially. So since I've been around 10, I had this like vision of me being on stage. And at that time, it was involved with music. And since I've been 10 years old, I've been writing songs. And I moved out to Los Angeles. I didn't go to college. I've always been interested in the spiritual world, always. Since I remember being in 6th grade.
Really?
Yeah, I remember being.
I love that.
Yeah, right. Being in 6th grade, I'm sure you've seen the movie The Secret.
You know what? It's actually so funny. I've heard about it and I know what The Secret is, but I never actually watched it.
Never seen it? That's so interesting.
No, I've never actually seen it, but I've always I've known about this stuff because I've always been very interested in all of this.
Yeah. A lot of people in the spiritual world at least have heard of it or have seen it. So 6th grade, I saw it and I was like, I want to manifest. I can do this.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. The way that I always preface it was at that time in my life, it resonated, but still didn't make sense in my brain, meaning something knew me this was right.
Yeah, but there was off.
If you're to think of something like manifestation as a math equation, it was sort of like someone was like a math teacher. Imagine a math teacher writing a math equation on the whiteboard. And then you trust that they got the right answer, but you don't get how it made sense. So in 6th grade, it resonated, but something didn't click in my brain. I was like, I don't see it. And I would try and manifest. I had a crush on a girl and I was trying to get her to like me back.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's so funny. We always I used to do that with making wishes and I always wish this type of stuff. I hope that I find a guy that likes me or I hope the guy likes me back.
Totally turned into wishing. It was every single day. I used to be so embarrassed about this, but every day after school, I would write her first and last name loves my first and last name. And I write it 20 to 30 times every day. And I had these stacks of paper. She loves me. She loves me. I was like, I'm going to manifest. It never worked because I was hoping.
Aww.
Yeah, I didn't get how it would work. But anyways.
Yeah, of course. Don't know the principles yet, right? Of how it all works.
I was like, it makes sense on my heart, but my brain was still attempting to catch up.
Yeah.
So that was one of my earliest memories of attempting to integrate this information, it not working. And then around 16, I had what felt like a proper spiritual awakening where it didn't just make sense on a heart level. Something clicked in my brain. It was like the math equation. I saw how 1 + 1 = 2. I was like, oh, I get it. I can
now
do this.
Now it's making sense. Yeah.
Overnight, my life, and especially socially, that's a high value for a lot of people at that age. Socially, my life flipped on its head and I had this beautiful awakening. And that took me out to Los Angeles because I was like, I can make it in music. I need to manifest this. And I met a mentor who you know as well, who you work with.
Yes.
And introduced me to intuition. And I was so fascinated by this. I couldn't stand it.
How did you get there though, Nicky? how did you get to this mentor? What got you there? How did you meet him? How did you get on that path?
So I had this feeling. I was like, all I need to do, I need to meet someone that can teach me how to make it in music. I was like, there's a formula. Manifestation's real. I'd manifested so many things in my life at that point.
So you had successfully manifested things.
I had manifested a lot of things at that point. Yes. Or at least thought I did. Either way.
Yeah.
Right.
That's another.
That's another conversation. I know you know, right? At least thought I did, which was good enough for my higher self.
Yes.
So, whether they're soul contracts, whatever they were, right? So
get you there to get you to where you are now. Yes.
Feeling like I was manifesting. And I had this intuitive pull to go out to Los Angeles. Didn't go to college. I was performing music all over the Bay Area. And I remember telling my mom and dad, I'm like, there's someone I'm supposed to meet.
Yeah.
And I moved in with these people. And in that apartment that I moved in with them, I met them out there and their friends. And my roommate was getting his haircut from a woman in that
Yeah.
apartment complex. That and
Yeah.
she,
Yeah.
yes, and yeah, her
She's
name's
a catalyst for this, huh? She's like sending
Kate.
everyone that way.
Yes, yeah, and you know
Yeah.
my Allie. So Allie
Yeah.
also got her hair done from
I
Kate.
know because I heard her story.
Yep,
And then I know Megan, obviously.
Megan lived with
So
Allie. So and I was neighbors
yeah.
with Allie, right? So if any of your community knows Allie, I was neighbors with her. So
Yeah.
then and my roommate knew I was looking to meet someone that can help me, you know, like manifest it. He knew I love spirituality. Ended up going to this class, and sure, that's how I got introduced to this world. As I developed my intuition, intuitively something inside me was going, music's not your purpose. And it was
Yeah.
so difficult for me to
Let go
accept
of that.
that.
Yeah.
I had so much ego. I was like, I was scared about what people would think of me. I would think people thought I didn't make it. And so this was my plan B. Like I had all these things.
Yeah. These things that you were telling yourself, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And so
Mhm.
that put me on the intuitive path. And then here we are now.
Yeah.
Turned into
Now.
sessions, content, so on and so forth. And
Successful business, everything. Yeah, it's crazy, right? And like how many like crazy things happen when you start developing this. And what I really loved about finding this, and I'm sure you did too, we think that people like have to naturally be born and already know shit, like be able to see guides and things like that and read people's energy. And we have been taught or told to believe that it's not something that you can develop or train. Right. And that's the most, I think that was for me the most like eye-opening thing. Like, oh, you can train this? Like you're able to open up those avenues, even though you weren't like, because you are born gifted. I'm trying to find the right wording for it. Even though you've never like been able to do this thing, you think that you've never been able to do this thing before.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that was really, really crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah. So going down that path, and especially like, did you ever have like, because did you ever have any reservations about any of this?
I would say the process in developing intuition, like you said, anybody can do it.
Yeah.
You know, this process, you know, I spent over 8 years developing it, and I still find my way. I still find ways to challenge myself.
Yeah.
And I would say not necessarily reservations. I mean, when I was in, I was in.
Yeah.
I would say that.
That's what I'm like.
Yeah, exactly. When I'm in, I'm in. And when I first developed my intuition, and you know this, there's a honeymoon phase. It's really fun. It's really great.
Well, before the honeymoon phase, it's like a life-shattering moment where you're like, "Oh my God, what is life?" And then after that, you get into the
Yes, you get it, and then you start to read other people, and you're like,
yeah,
holy shit, this thing that I thought was only like bestowed upon like certain psychics or certain intuitives.
yes, that
was exciting. But what I began to realize as I progressed on my adventure, my intuitive adventure, is that like learning a new language, like learning an instrument, there are challenges that could cause someone to feel like they're having setbacks, but it's only contributing to our more soul evolution. So if any of your listeners, which I'm sure they are as intuitives, I like to share that so they know that yes, it's fun, yes, it's great, but a true love for something is not just loving the exciting pieces of it.
No, it's the obstacles that are the best
Right.
part.
Yeah, the day where you're like, wait, is my intuition off? Is it not accurate? What's going on here? My intuition told me to go here. No, it's all challenging you to see the bigger picture and harness higher levels of clarity and strengthen your relationship with that intuitive gift or skill set, really. Like you said, it is a gift in some ways, but it's more so a skill set that you develop.
Yeah, I mean, it's a gift. It is a gift that we all basically have, and each of us have probably more gifts in specific areas than in other areas when it comes to intuition, right? As a healer as well, like the healing component is something slightly different. You use your intuition to perform the healing and etc. like that. So there are some different components to it. And also like what I really loved, because I had like worked with intuition. I don't know if I should say dip my toe, because it was quite quote unquote spiritual, you know, like I understand when people hear the word spiritual, they often think like hippie, you know, yoga, sound baths, like that type of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how else to explain it. And so when I first got in touch, I had before doing this work, I met a woman in the Netherlands who read people, basically could read people, not in the way that we do, which is like literally another level, but not to toot our own horns, but it's just you learn how to do it. It's just a different type because you know how to direct your intuition and get like more specific on things. But what I found when I stepped into her world back then, like this is already 8 years ago, actually more. And what I loved is she was still wearing designer clothes. She was, still like, love the luxuries of life, that kind of thing. And there's like this belief that when you're spiritual, you like, how would you explain it? You would turn into a hippie. You have to live like minimalistically, like, because money is not like seen as spiritual, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I really love about also this, like when you start diving into this world more from the perspective of the courses that we've taken and our mentor and what we've learned is that that's actually not the case. It's very misled.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people like immediately get like a negative response to spirituality because it's like, I don't want to be a hippie. I don't want to be woo woo, that kind of like, I don't want to be like crazy. So that's why I also wanted to ask you about that, because especially when you're introducing it to like new people or people around you, and that's why it's very interesting because it is a feminine attribute, right? As a man, a lot of like guys will really quickly like try to be like, no, that's bullshit. Same with astrology. Like they'll be like, no, that's bullshit. But it like, so I would love to see your perspective on that. And like, how was that, for example, were you always open about like being more spiritual and diving into this world with your friends, for example, and things like that and people around you?
Yeah, I mean, for as long as I can remember, and I'm grateful to have parents that are into this world, especially my dad.
That's so
I mean,
cool.
my dad was. I mean, I was just surrounded by like Abraham Hicks books and like him reading about the law of attraction since I was a little kid. I remember like being 4, my dad pointing to the mountains and the trees and saying that's where God exists. And every Christmas morning we go to the mountains, and that would be our church. And so it's funny you bring up that point because there's something that I like to refer to. Bring up the point of spirituality having this sort of like this one persona as maybe whatever it may be, which has its place. But there's something I like to think of. I like to call it this. We all know about the Matrix. And the Matrix is this system that is built upon lies. It elicits illusions. It's built on lies in order to elicit this feeling of source, but it's not actually source. Whether it's the pharmaceutical companies, whether it's the lies that are in our food, whatever it may be. There's something that I like to call the spiritual matrix. And it's this idea that when you have a spiritual awakening, it causes you to think that you're on your true nature path. Or to put it simply, it causes you to think you're in alignment with your purpose. But the spiritual world is also riddled with misinformation, and it can completely take you off of your path. And so when you develop your intuition, it's this beautiful mastermind because it's bigger than you. You're connecting with higher self. You're connecting with source. You're connecting with your guides to live a life that's in accordance with you, so you don't have to be this spiritual person if that's what you don't want to be. You can just live life in accordance with what you're meant to do. And that's where the true abundance exists. And that's where the truth resides within developing that intuition. Because again, just because you have a spiritual awakening, it doesn't mean you're on your higher self path. There are dark forces that can infiltrate that awakening. There is, plant medicine is a way to actually attract dark forces, throw you off your path, so on and so forth.
Yeah. Oh, dive a little more into that, because the thing is, like, I'm still warming my audience up, the ones that don't know intuition, to the dark energy side of it. I'm slowly diving deeper into all of that stuff. And because a lot of people that are on their spiritual path, I don't know if I should out myself.
Do it.
I have done mushrooms before, not ayahuasca.
Yeah, that's all right.
So I have done that before. And you do think, because it does drop the veil in some areas. So that's basically like between realms and things like that. So, and it is a very crazy experience. I've always felt, which is interesting, right? Because somewhere that's the truth. I've always felt some kind of like resistance to the ayahuasca thing. Like it scared me. Like I was like, I don't like that, which is good. Thank you. Thank you yourself. Thank you for that. So, it's very interesting because there's a lot of people that are on their spiritual path and maybe have found a specific teacher or mentor that is actually doing, and that's the thing with intuition. When you properly develop it, you can figure out like is this the right person? Should I be learning from this person? Is this like, things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Have you had any experiences like that before, Nicky, where you've had another, like before, our current mentor now, have you had any experiences like that before, or?
Like with like teachers that didn't resonate,
Yeah.
like engaging with like plant medicine stuff.
Yeah. And how did you find out about that? Or was it through?
Well, yeah, I have not engaged with like plant medicine. Or I smoked weed one time in my life when I was like 17. Freaked out. Promised myself.
Yes, I also do not like it.
Freaked out. But yeah, there was, along my path. Yeah, I remember going to different psychics and healers because I, fully subscribed to this idea that we have access to intuition. I didn't know we all had it, but I knew people out there had access to psychic ability. And a lot of them didn't resonate with me, to be honest with you. I just remember like when I was a teenager, I was going through a difficult time at 17. 16, I had this beautiful awakening and it lasted for about a year. 17.
Yeah, so what was the catalyst of that awakening when you were 16? Like what happened?
Something I got back from the town had a local church, and a lot of kids, whether they went to the church or not, went on this retreat. It was like an annual thing in the summer, this houseboat retreat. And it was a lot of kids from the high school. And it's this beautiful experience. And at night they play music. It's Christian music, but this live singer, and it's all based in Christianity. It was so beautiful. And I get back from that trip, and my dad reads me something out of an Abraham Hicks book about a higher self. And again, I've always been interested in this world. And it was that there was a moment, I don't know how to explain it, where it was beyond resonating. It made sense in my brain. I was like, oh, this is like a video game. I was like,
yes, but it is, right? That's always what I say. We're in a game.
Yeah, yourself is like playing this body like a video game. And I was like, if I'm looking for social abundance, I just have to be a person that has it. And I'm telling you, overnight, my life in regards to friends changed, like overnight. Yeah, people go, I didn't know you went to, like, I remember like someone came up to me like, dude, I didn't know you went to this school, like freshman, sophomore year. Like, what are you doing here? And like, it just completely shifted overnight, and my confidence shifted overnight. And I actually have this shyer part of my personality, but this extrovert piece of me just like came to life like instantly around people that I would typically be shy around. So yeah.
Yeah. So I want to like, I was thinking about that. Like, I want to like ask you, like, what, after having developed your intuition, after like doing all of this stuff, like what are some of the craziest things that you've experienced that make you think like, there's no other way. Like this is crazy. Like this shit works basically.
Well, it's really cool in like day-to-day moments. And it's pretty interesting. I want to share more of them on social media, but in my head, I'm like, I don't know if people are fully going to get like how incredible this little moment was. But
yeah.
It's like little moments.
We'll try to explain now, you've got some more time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like just like these little moments as far as like directions to go. Like if I'm on a run, which direction I can go. And if I go a certain direction, like I attract something that I'm like, oh my gosh, my intuition was just so spot on. Or like, this is going to sound so small to most people, and I'll get into like bigger things that have blown me away, but these are the little things that blow me away. So like even yesterday in my apartment, and I see someone on the left side like talking to the neighbor, and my intuition says go that way, go left. And I actually teach people to, when they want, go against their intuition, because you'll learn.
Oh, so it's the best.
In the moment I actually felt this pull. I was like, Nicky, go left, go left. You're supposed to go walk past them. And I didn't, and then I go right. And then like 10 seconds later, as I was around the corner, sir, excuse me, come here. And he like, the guy needed to bring me back and tell me something about my apartment. And I just like, in that moment, I know that small,
but those are crazy little things that you're like, oh shit. Like I was actually getting,
I'm like, why does it matter if I go right or left? I can get to the elevators the same way. Like it'll take me to the same elevator.
Yeah.
Go or left. And it was just in that small little moment. But I find it so incredible when it's just so black and white like that. And then of course,
when it's so like forward, when you feel it, like I had that, like, cause I started out in the fitness space. I still do that, like do body scans now and stuff like that. So what I do every morning, I decide, because I used to be very hard on myself, for example, like if I skipped a workout or if I didn't do things like that. Now with intuition, I can just check in with my body and be like, hey, is this going to get me closer to, and on days where I feel like absolute trash, sometimes I wake up and I feel like, oh, this is not it. And intuition says, go, I have either the best run or the best workout. And those are like the crazy moments, because you're like, oh, I would have never gone, or I would have never thought that. Right.
Yes. Yeah. Like the other day, another like fun kind of small story. is I had this poll to go sing at an open mic. And I met this dude at a different open mic, and he recommended it. And I was like, I guess I keep getting this poll I meant to go. I also had a poll to take my car to a mechanic to get a couple things like tuned up and fixed up. So I didn't have a car, and I'm like walking distance from stuff. And so by the time the open mic comes around, I'm hungry. So I went to go walk to go eat food. And I'm like, if I make it on time, I'll walk to eat food, and then I'll Uber to the open mic. By the time I was done eating, and this was like, it was so fascinating to me because like by the time I was done eating, I was too late to go to this open mic. And I'm like, I'm just too tired at this point. I'm not going to go. And as I'm walking, I'm thinking about, that's so interesting that my intuition kept telling me to be at this open mic and go to this open mic. I take initiative and now I'm not going. As I'm on my walk, okay, this guy that I met at the other open mic, and there's no way he should have seen me. This car pulls over, gets out of his car, and it's him. He's like, I'm going to this open mic, the one I told you about. Do you want to come? And I'm like, that is crazy. My intuition kept telling me that I'm going to go, like I should be there. So I got in his car and I went. And it was just like those moments when...
Those crazy little moments, right? Yeah.
It's like on day-to-day life that are just so, I find very exciting. Like the small little moments in life that are hard to explain to most people. But when you know in your heart, like, I'm supposed to go left, you go right, and then the guy calls you from left side of the apartment or like whatever it is, like, got it, that's incredible.
And it's funny because sometimes they come later, because I've had that before where you get like an intuitive hit and you're like, I don't know what the hell this is supposed to like mean. And then you're walking and then you hear something or something comes in and you're like, holy shit. You're like, now it all makes sense, right?
Totally. And that's where intuition becomes challenging for people because sometimes, as you progress on the intuitive path, you start to ask bigger questions in regards to your life. Like I remember when I first asked the question, am I meant to pursue music? And I heard a no. And that's very hard.
It can be.
A lot of people have a very difficult time listening to those intuitive polls because your ego is completely tethered to this thing. And so not a lot of the time, but a good amount of the time, you'll get to a point intuitively, not you, but whoever's listening, or everybody, right? everybody, where you'll ask an intuitive question and you won't see the results for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5, whatever, but it's ultimately getting you closer and contributing to the greater good of your life. That's when it can become tricky. And then we have all these ways now to begin asking more questions so you can intuitively see the bigger picture.
Yeah, but that's the thing, like getting really precise. That's what you really learn when you dive into this world, how like, when people are reading your fields and things like that, if they don't know how to direct the energy or get the right question, you can get a totally different answer. For sure, when you first start out, that's what you start to figure out. And I've had some like mental like breakdown moments asking heavy hitting questions when I didn't have the right information yet and getting totally like screwed up by it, and then going back and being like, okay, no, there was something else going on here. But everything is always meant to lead you somewhere and get you to the final destination. It's never not meant to happen, basically.
Even if like you listen to your intuition, again, if you don't see how it was for the betterment of your soul evolution, you're just not seeing it. And sometimes, and this is a little like cheat code for people that are on this path developing their intuition. If your higher self feels like you're being lazy intuitive, which I was at one point, you might start to get some wrong answers because it's your higher self's way of getting you to strengthen the different ways, like to diversify the way you pull intuitive information, ask better questions. But it's all bringing you back to your core essence, to your true nature path, to live a life that's in accordance with abundance, goodness, wealth, and all these other things.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's not always the easiest road. When you want to follow this type of stuff, but it's so worth it, right? It's so worth it. So like when it comes to the spiritual world and all of this and spiritual knowledge that you have, like what was the one of besides intuition? Cause that is for me, that's the biggest one, right? But what was one of the most life-changing things that you found out or that shifted a lot of things for you? And like got you to where you are today?
All right, so you're asking like one thing that was like sort of like blew my mind in regards to in regards to the space. Intuition was definitely it. So intuition, and then I would say probably learning about absent of light was pretty eye-opening.
It is
difficult for me at first to accept and process that, but it began to make more and more sense the more that I learned about that world.
Yeah, and so did you believe in that before?
Not necessarily. I mean,
No.
a little bit. I knew certain individuals in the world were like corrupted, but not
Yeah.
to the extent
To
that.
the extent, right? Like how much it is
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't fully realize it, but it does once you learn about it. Like, oh, this is totally real and affects so many people on a day-to-day basis.
Yes, almost everybody, I feel.
Yeah,
Yes. But not to scare anyone. It's all good. You don't need to worry about any
yeah,
of that. Like it can be on a lower level, which I talk about in one of the, like when things are just low vibe, low frequency, they're trying to disconnect you from your power. Anything that tries to disconnect you from your power is something that is of, I would say, like the absence of light. That is
yeah.
not trying to guide you in the right direction.
That's all it is.
So
And
yeah.
yeah, when you learn about this world, the absent of light world, and you see it through the lens of source or your higher
Yeah.
self, see it for the truth, there's legitimately nothing to fear because you are source in physical form. And it's,
Oh, we're so much stronger.
yeah,
So yeah.
it's no different than, like a mosquito is drawn to the light, or maybe not a mosquito, but a moth or whatever. Yeah, I don't know.
Mosquito is drawn to my blood,
Your blood. Yeah, they're
unfortunately.
not drawn to the light. Yeah, they're drawn to your blood and
Yes.
heat, stuff like that. But it's no different. Is that if there are, yeah. So it's learning about that world. It gives you your highest levels of protection, and when you learn how to, when you learn about that world, you learn how to protect yourselves with the highest levels of source protection. Man, just life becomes better. So there's
Oh
legit.
yeah, 100%. Like, and it makes you more empowered and stronger, even
Oh
more
yeah,
so, I
yeah.
believe. Like,
It starts to become fun and kind of funny, and you're just like, oh, okay, I can protect myself.
yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. So what do you like? What is like your favorite topic to help people with when you coach people?
A really great question. My favorite thing in the world is to help people live a life in accordance with what they're built to do. And
Yeah.
I hope people
So
hear that.
soul pass, soul pull, as we call it, right?
Okay, yep. The
Yeah.
soul path and the soul pull, the thing that they were destined to do, whether it's in this lifetime or another, with intuition, we can get them on that path to do it in this lifetime. But each person's soul was destined to accomplish something great and to change a number of lives that the human self many times isn't aware of. And again, when you get someone to be in accordance with that soul path, soul pull, that's where the abundance resides, whether it is financially, whether it's in a soulmate or a soul complement, or whether it's in just overall happiness. If people were to simplify any of the work that we do, it's really to get someone on that soul path, that soul pull, so that they start to see every single aspect of their life is contributing to it. Every little obstacle
So
is
can you explain for the people that don't know a little bit about, sorry to interrupt you, Nikki, but
okay.
just so that they get like a better understanding, like, cause the soul pass, soul pull, how would you describe that? Because people confuse that with career sometimes. So like how would you describe that to people that are wanting to get more aligned with that?
I would say if you sort of look at this physical reality, right? If I look at
Yeah.
this window, that window was built by someone with a purpose. And if that window was instead, I was using that window as like a chair, it wouldn't work. Or a chair is built with four legs with a purpose. Like this analogy might be kind of strange or it may not be
No, but
working.
I think yeah, I get it. It makes sense. I'm gonna sit on the window. It's not gonna
I would
work.
try to use a bike as a car and travel
Yeah.
across the country to be more challenging. So the analogy is that most people were built for something unique in this world, but most people, the majority of people, do not know what that thing is. It's a small percentage of people. I would say even less than 4% of people even are connected with it at a high level.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a lot of people still, but like still, like it is a small percentage of people
Yeah.
connected with that. And so the reason why you're attracting these obstacles that feel like you can't overcome them is because you're not living in accordance with the thing that you were built to do. You were built by something, by high intelligence to accomplish something in this world. And so intuitively we can look in and see what is that thing? What are the steps to begin to live life in accordance with what you're built to do? And many people have heard the word purpose. People in your community, soul path, soul pull,
Yeah.
we call it the higher self path.
Destiny.
Yeah, your destiny.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes. And, and that's when you get into the topic of like past lives. We come back to earth to accomplish that destiny if we don't get it in this lifetime. With intuition, we can give you that destiny in this lifetime.
And speed it up even, right? Like if you
Yeah, it might take you 10 lifetimes more, sometimes thousands for people. With intuition, you can get it in this lifetime if you choose to.
yeah.
It will feel temporarily more challenging, but it's a lifetime worth of goodness, peace, happiness, prosperity, but it's not overnight. And that's what a lot of people have a hard time with. They're looking for that overnight success. That's I wouldn't say that's what we do. We're not here to give you overnight success.
No, because yeah, and that goes back into that technicality, right? Because your energy has to be ready to hold whatever
Absolutely.
you're trying to achieve.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing, like these obstacles that you're experiencing, yes, that has to do with you not being on your path. But when you can start seeing those obstacles as a means to get you back on the path,
Mm-hmm.
that's when you really can start like shifting a lot of stuff. So
Yeah.
I think that's really like it's very interesting when you start looking at it like that. And I agree, because a lot of people don't even know like what they are capable of.
Yeah.
And I think that's
That's
that's the most amazing thing to see. And so what would you say to someone, right? Because a lot of the time we can't connect those dots. And for example, if you have someone coming to you that just is like desperate to make more money, or is wanting, because you touched upon soul complement, that's a whole nother topic that we
yeah.
should get into another time, or me on my podcast. I'm sure you've had, I don't know if you have a podcast on it, but maybe we can link it below. Yeah. And your soulmate, right? And that kind of stuff. And someone is looking for the love of their life, or that's what they want. How would you say being on your soul path, soul pull would help that? Because the thing is, we often only look at that one thing, right? And we kind of put blinders on. It's like if the thing is money, or if the thing is a relationship that we desire, then that's all we focus on, and we don't see how other things like developing our intuition, or working towards our soul path, soul pull. Because if you tell someone, I help you get on your soul path, soul pull, they're going to be like, I don't even know what that means.
Yeah.
How would you say that could help them?
Attract a relationship. Well, it's pretty interesting. It's like you say, like most people, the majority of people are not aware of their potentials. Like I remember,
Yeah.
working with a couple of different clients and looking at their souls, like what they have the capacity to do. I'm like, oh, you're totally meant to create a TED Talk. Yes, in this lifetime. They're like, what? I'm like, yes, totally. Be in front of people, and they're like, they know it at their soul. They're like, oh, because something lights up within them, but you can see their brain has never even considered that. And now there are these intuitives out there in the world. And so what I tell a lot of people in regards to relationship is that you have the capacity to have that high level love in your life, a love that is complementary to your soul. The way that you attract that by getting on the path that you're built to do by source, soul path, soul pull, is by realizing that if we are the creators of our reality, which I would say most people subscribe to that listen to you, we create our reality. That reality is based on our dominant vibration. So if your dominant vibration is in accordance with what you were meant to do, what you are meant to do also is going to elicit feelings of joy, high levels of love. It's going to require you to access high levels of love. It's going to
Yeah, I love
require you
that.
to feel frequent joy. And what you're going to begin to attract is more people and experiences that are in accordance with that soul path, soul pull. One of those things being a person. If you're a person or a love interest, someone that is complementary of your soul, a soul complement or a soul mate. If you're not on that soul path, soul pull, it can be a little bit tricky, because a lot of the people that you're going to meet are going to be giant obstacles to get you on that soul path, soul pull. They're going to show you where you're not putting yourself first. They're going to show you where you're not feeling passionate in your life, so on and so forth. So when you align, when you access your intuition, you develop your intuition like it's like learning an instrument or a new language. You take the time, you get on that soul path, soul pull. It is the recipe to attract that dream romantic relationship. If you're already in one, to make it filled with more goodness, make it
Yeah,
more
100%.
so on and
Yeah.
so forth, and get all the things you're asking for, whether it's money, whatever it may be. Again, this isn't overnight. It sounds exciting. And you know this probably better than anybody, there are a ton of challenges when you're on this path. There's a lot of moments that life is going to give you an opportunity to jump off the intuitive train, right? There's going to be so many moments where I feel like
Yeah.
and over again. But if you see yourself as a little scientist and go, man, I'm experimenting here, I'm figuring out what I'm meant to do in this world that's never been seen before. And that's what we help people with, was just essentially creating something that the world has yet to see. That is the game changer, and that is the secret recipe to get unstuck essentially in your life.
Yeah, I always like linking it back to the game analogy. It's like fighting another boss, right? To get
Yeah.
to the next level. That's kind of what it is.
Yeah.
So, and when you overcome that, you reach higher levels of success and happiness and abundance and everything that you desire.
Yeah.
So, and like you said, like even if you are in a loving relationship, um you're probably only tapping into how much would you say of that loving relationship when you're not on this path? Maybe 50, if you're lucky, 50% of what it could achieve, right? Like of happiness.
I would say even lower.
Even lower, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yes.
lucky. 50%.
Yeah, 50%. And without the tools, I'd be
Yeah.
impressed. Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be doing something good.
Yeah, I don't even see it going past 8%, really. Like
Yeah, it's crazy because we're so out of like not in tune with what is actually going on. We're so disconnected
no,
from
no.
what's actually going
Yeah.
on. And
Yeah.
that's the crazy. So it's like now linking it back to that whole ayahuasca thing and all that this achieving this and tapping into this and going on your soul path, soul pull is, I would say, the best drug that you could take.
Yes. Yeah, the thing with the plant medicine is that yes, there's a thinning of the veil. It opens up your perspectives and your consciousness, but science has shown us that there's an equal and opposite force to everything in this world.
Yeah.
And so there is light. There is also absence of light. And so what happens is when you open your energy wide in regards to plant medicine or whatever it may be, yes, you're pulling in intuitive information, but you're also inviting in absent of light to tether themselves to your energy. And what a lot of people don't understand is dark forces can play the role of source or your guides and give you, let's say, 80% accurate information that's meant to temporarily empower you.
Yeah.
But there's 20% corrupted information out there that'll completely throw you off your soul path. So when people are done with ayahuasca or plant medicine or mushrooms, they're like, man, I've had these profound realizations, not realizing that some of those profound realizations are from dark forces that are meant to give them a temporary, it's sort of like
temporary hit of that.
Yeah, it's like, think of like fast food. Fast food, yes, it might nourish your body if like you have nothing to eat. It'll allow you to feel like you're full, like maybe you had some protein, but it's also riddled with like chemicals in there that aren't good for you. So it has both.
Yeah.
And if you don't know anything about food, you're like, no, I feel good after I eat it. I had dopamine, had protein in there, so on and so forth. If you're eating like a burger or something, and plant medicine is way similar. And even if there are people that host these retreats saying
that they can,
that a lot of the times you look in intuitively, in most cases, the dark forces aren't going anywhere.
No, and that's something that I'm gonna definitely dive deeper into in another podcast. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, it's really like kind of scary, or like how few people know about that kind of stuff. And I even heard of someone, like I think it was in another podcast talking about this, who doesn't know about this, right?
Yeah.
But he was saying that he went to a retreat and he met a guy there that kept going back every year to do ayahuasca, because going back, anything to me that disconnects you from your power, so that doesn't give you the feeling that you can do it on your own, right? Anything that does that for me is something probably that you should question, because when you have to use something else outside of yourself to get somewhere, even if that is a mentor or someone who says, like, draws you back in, you need me to get there, I would question that, because and I've always felt that, like, a good mentor, a good, anything in this area, in all areas actually in life, is going to give you the tools to be able to empower yourself. And the same thing with this, if you have to rely on something else to get where you want to be, then you're being disconnected from your abilities and your power, because
100%.
You can achieve the same result without that external
100%.
stuff.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I continue.
You're so right. Yeah. It's tough, because again, you can feel as if you've had this new profound awakening, or these new realizations that you feel are like for the betterment of your life. But again, if that information is corrupted with dark forces, it'll give you a temporary high, and it'll bring you right back in the same way that sugar and processed foods does.
Yes, exactly. I like that analogy, because it's true.
You want to go right back. And again, if you only have access to fast foods, maybe it'll hold you over. But again, there's nothing that's just negative and nothing that's just positive. everything has both. It's just asking yourself, what frequency and vibration do I resonate at? And a lot of the time, plant medicine or even marijuana, whatever it may, it vibrates lower than you're vibrating at. So it's going to bring you actually down. And so we're looking at things that on a scale of consciousness, and you can access 1,000 times, if not more, the information that you would get from an ayahuasca ceremony, 1,000 times the information from developing your intuition. And you can pull that information
without
in seconds.
Yeah, and without having to take any substance.
Without going out, whatever, like driving out somewhere in the country and like doing a whole ceremony, you can pull that information just right here. But you gotta take the time. You gotta develop it,
and it's the coolest thing ever when you start when you start doing this shit. You're just like, what? Like mind-blowing stuff comes through. Yeah, it's really cool. I'm so excited to have you inside this podcast and have you listening to these things. If you want to supercharge and upgrade your life immediately, the podcast can be a little bit of a slow burn. If you are ready to supercharge your upgrades and up levels in your life, and you want to move faster on these things, you're ready to upgrade and up level, then join the newsletter. Inside the newsletter, you will get access to weekly live webinars and events where you can ask your questions live. They are absolutely free. Inside these webinars, we will be covering different topics to get you the tools, the understandings, the laws of the universe to get you supercharging, up-leveling, upgrading your life at a much faster speed. Like I mentioned, this email list, this newsletter is purely to get you upgrading and accessing new content for free to get you moving forward so that you can start accessing the goddess that you are within. Check the show notes. The link is below, and I hope to see you in the next webinar. Yeah. So yeah, I love that. I love that. So like, okay, for people that don't know, like, how am I going to formulate this question? Like, what for you, Nicky, has been like the biggest change, and how would I say that? Like, walk me through, like, for example, in business, in relationships, in things like that, having developed this and doing this for a living as well. And, this being your what you live and breathe. Am I saying that? Is that the right word?
I breathe it. So yeah.
Yeah, I do too now. Yeah. It's crazy because you can't even imagine not doing it anymore. Yes. For me, at least, like, it's now part of my daily routine. Yeah. So, what were like one of the like biggest changes that you were like, without the little moments, like the bigger ones that you were like, oh my God, this shit really works? So for example, with me, when I first started out, I immediately attracted, like, I've moved to a different country. I was here already a year. I immediately, like you said, attracted a group of friends, which connected me there. And then suddenly my business started taking off more. And all of these crazy things, people around me started acting differently, that you think, oh my God, how am I doing this? So what for you is, like, having been in this world for 8 years, were some of the craziest changes that you've experienced doing this work?
Well, I would say for a while, I couldn't figure out why there was this hole within me, this gap within me of feeling like I couldn't totally feel the energy I wanted to feel. I couldn't feel happy. I'm living in Los Angeles. I'm living a life that's a little bit rogue, and supposedly it's going to bring me more happiness, so on and so forth. And I remember asking myself this question. I was like, if I never got credit for what I do in the world and had to pursue something, would it be music or would it be myself as an intuitive? And without a question, it was intuition. And I began to realize is that I always wondered, why don't I have the excitement to learn more about the guitar? I do love writing songs, and I do it for fun now, as you mentioned. Yeah. I do it more so for fun. But like, when I think about intuition and I think about stuff that, like, I live and breathe it. I'm obsessed with it. And so the biggest life change came for me was just like getting to enjoy my day-to-day life and attracting people like yourself that were like-minded, like that were as inquisitive as myself, as caring about living a life that is powerful, but that living a life in the pursuit to empower billions of people, to be surrounded by people like that is just incredible. And then struggling so long financially, and those start finally having the answers to that while empowering people. And then my favorite thing, is creating a community through, the business, and like creating a community with those people, and to see them get on their soul path. Like, we have intuitives that are now like intuitives in training that are in our community that are now intuitives, that are now teachers, and just getting messages like, hey, I attracted my first client, or I got my website, all these other things. I got a podcast. And to see that brings me joy, because I'm like, wow, they got it so much quicker than I did. And I know the people they work with are going to get it so much quicker than they did. And it's just this beautiful system I think Source has created that's just going to continue to shape the world in a beautiful way. So that's the thing I find most exciting. Is, I mean, there's so many things I said in there, but that's sort of what it would be.
The main thing. And then what is like your how would I say? What is your vision for what you want to still create? Or are you just sort of like going with it?
No, that's a really great question.
Yeah.
I would say to restructure, I would say the way that our society currently is, like to restructure in a way that is more in accordance with play, more in accordance
with...
That's
a big one, right? Because we struggle to see
that it's possible to create a heaven on earth, not only for ourselves, but for everyone here.
And
that the thing that I'm excited to continue to create in the vision is expanding the community more in person. So I'm out here living in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, we have what's called Saturday service, which is in person, complimentary. It's free. Anyone can join.
I love that you're doing that. Very cool. Yeah. I would have come if I was in Austin, Texas.
Yes. When you're here, if you ever visit.
I will.
Yes,
I will. I need to. I'm moving over at some point. So
there you go. I wouldn't be surprised if it's Texas. A lot of intuitives are moving to Texas.
Apparently it's LA or Utah, but maybe first Texas. So we'll see.
Not interesting. So you had the poll to go California or Utah?
Well, yeah, that's what first I got the poll to Texas. We double checked that and added some more stuff in there. And eventually I think it's meant to be California or Utah.
Interesting. Okay. I'll definitely be back. I mean, I can see myself going to Utah. I've gotten the poll to go to Colorado for a while too.
Oh, cool. I love that.
Because I'll definitely move back to California. So.
And it's interesting because I've always felt a pull to move to the US. I mean, I do have some family there, but still, like I've always had like this, like I want to live there. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, I definitely would love to move back to California because that's where I'm born and raised, and I love it.
Oh, so you grew up in California?
Yeah, but I had the intuitive pull that my ego is fighting to move out to Texas, and
how are you liking it so far, though?
Great, it's great. I have a really deep appreciation for Texas. Yeah.
Any reason why you got the intuitive pull to go to Texas?
So I was living in Laguna Beach for about 4 months, and
nice. I've been there for the first time now. Was it Laguna Beach? Well.
Laguna Beach.
Yeah. In 2023, I went to the OC, so that area.
That area, yeah, it's beautiful, and
it's amazing.
I've been there for about 4 months, and I have some friends that are in the intuitive space that some of your community might know. Allie, and she just married her husband Justin, who I got to officiate their wedding.
Yeah, very cool.
And she would always be like, dude, you gotta come. Like, you're meant to be in Texas. You're meant to be in Texas. I'm like, are you crazy? I'm living out here in Laguna. I'm good here. I'm happy. So on and so forth. And sure enough, like the more that I looked in, the pull was strong enough to move to Texas, and that's what brought me out here. I stopped being stubborn, and it just created so much transformation in my life that I couldn't believe because I never would have guessed I would have lived out in Texas.
No, but that's the interesting part, right? It guides you to places that you wouldn't have guessed you would have got. Like some make sense, some you're like, okay, that makes sense, and then others, your ego is fighting so hard with it, and then after a while, you're like, oh, now I'm starting to understand.
Yeah. And when you fall in the hole, I kind of think of it like being like a source missionary, but I like to think of it this way. When you follow the intuitive poles,
like a Jehovah's Witness,
like a missionary for source. Sources.
Have you heard about intuition? Maybe we should do that.
Yeah, oh God, I don't know. Yeah, I'll leave you to that one.
Okay, I might try it. See, I think I'm going to be really.
But when you go where your intuition's pulling you to go, that's where more fun exists. That's where more. Again, it might not be right away, but that's where your true self is pulled to go. We have all these egoic reasons why we want to be where we want to be. But ultimately, I was in Laguna Beach. I was just got off of traveling. My higher self's like, dude, you're distracting yourself. You need to find the beach in your business. What you think the beach is.
I love that. The beach in your business.
Yes, I find the beach because I was attempting to extract.
You should make that one of your like.
In your business. Yes. In your business. Totally have to do. That's a great fucking idea. I love that. So find the beach in your business. I love that. Good shot.
Right? So good. It's so you came up with it.
Well, it was collaborative.
Yes.
I might actually use that.
You should. Tag me when you do.
Yes, I will. The beach in your business, because what it is, it's like we think. So, okay, traveling is great, right? But there are times and seasons in your life where your higher self is not pulled to travel, but your human self is going, no, I'm gonna have all this fun, all this other things. And
you see those posts, right? Like people, it's an escaping thing.
it's
Like,
you're distracting yourself with a crutch.
Yeah.
I was doing that. I was traveling a lot. It was a crutch. The initial pull was intuitive, but it became a crutch. So my higher self's like, we need to take you out to the flatlands, live out in the country with your friends, and you're going to figure out how to have that same level of fun without
being somewhere else.
Yeah. So did that, and it was just great. It was beautiful. Became really close with my two good friends, and then I since moved to Austin, and just beautiful. So many people are out here in the wellness space, and I'm so grateful for it. And I love that. It blows me away that I'm out here in Texas because of intuition, but here we are.
Yeah, but that's a crazy thing because I mean, I don't know, it's not exactly the same, but I remember like I moved, so I'm in a very random place. I'm in Serbia right now. So I'm like living here, and like it's constantly like where your intuition and where things like the universe gets you, it's like crazy. And I remember speaking to our mentor about like, okay, but with my business, like how am I going to do that here? And he's like, well, if you can make it happen here, then you can make it happen anywhere. And I just really love that, because that's the thing. Like we think that something external is going to shift our reality. But if you can become successful in a place where you think like there's no way, like not even the people don't have the income that I'm, asking for. And like, how are they going to afford sessions with me? They don't even speak my language, like things like that. And then still you find a way to connect and create a community here. And that's the beauty of it. When you can ace it in like, and figure shit out in the hardest places of your life, if you can do that, then for a fact you can do it anywhere. And then imagine being where you want to be. What kind of magical dreamland you
become magnetic. Like, I was pulled to the country 40 minutes from Fort Worth, literally like on a plot of big land. But it pulled me because energy is not created nor destroyed. We learned that when we were kids. And so if you aren't getting what you're trying to get from the beach, you have to give that energy to yourself somehow.
Yeah, exactly.
By scrolling on social media too much, by ruminating. My higher self was pulling me to give it to myself on my business, right? To channel that energy and find that goodness in my business. And sure enough, things began to compound and we began to expand our community. And it's just been a blessing these past, less than a couple of years at this point.
Yeah, I love that so much. I really do. So before we wrap up this amazing podcast, is there one more thing that you would like to say to the listeners? And I'm obviously also going to add all of Nicky's links below because he also guides people in developing their intuition. I think that's one of the main things that you do, right? As well.
Yeah. We help people. We have a wait list right now for Intuition Level 1, but there's a ton of free stuff to begin that process.
Yeah.
Looking to develop their intuition. We just now have a new group for our teacher activation. And so I would say the message for your listeners is to know that it is possible for you. And I know that for a lot of your life, you have felt let down. Maybe you feel let down by the spiritual world, or you feel let down by the manifestation world. But to get on that path that you're built to do, it's not that it's not going to be riddled with challenge. I want to preface it with that.
Yeah.
But I want to leave you with this understanding that in the same way 1 + 1 = 2, it's always going to equal 2. There is an ingredients or an equation to get what you're asking for. You develop your intuition, you can access it. But all I want you guys to get, to simplify this message, it's possible for you. You can have the life that you are desired to experience. It's already within you. It's already happening. It's just you're not realizing it. So see if you can feel into that heart's intelligence of yours, and see what begins to happen. And there's a community out there for you. There's people for you. And let us be testaments for you, a testimony.
Yeah, 100%.
Possible for you. So when you start with that going, no, it's possible for me, I'm deserving of this, that sort of opens up the floodgates to start attracting more that's going to support you in that pursuit of attracting goodness.
Yeah. And I love that. And it's so true, because the problem is you are going to be challenged by people telling you otherwise. Mm-hmm. And breaking through that might be the hardest part.
Yes.
But when you do, it's so worth it, because I'm sure you've had the same, Nikki, the amounts of times people have been like, what the fuck is Manouk doing right now?
Yeah, I know.
Like my whole life, by the way. So
Yeah, totally.
and I just kept doing it, and it works out. So just trust that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's about trusting your internal compass. And all we do is give structure to that. But
100%.
It's giving you all the answers that, from source, from higher self, from God, that are going to give you what you need to live a life that supports maybe the empire that you're meant to create. Who knows? Like, it's possible.
Yeah. Like all those dreams that you have, they're all possible. And the only reason, how would I say that? The fact that you've limited yourself means that you need to get back on that track, basically.
Yes.
The obstacles are trying to get you back on that track. That's what I was trying to say.
That's what it is. Yes. And obstacles are all a gift. We know.
They are, even though they suck sometimes.
Mm-hmm. They are a pain in the ass, but they're also like, they will, because to attract what you desire, it requires you to, in a lot of ways, eradicate this inner victim, feeling like a victim.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
It doesn't actually go away. It really requires us to love that part of ourselves.
Yeah.
So I sort of like want to pull back a little bit on using the word eradicate, but it's going to feel like we eradicate this inner victim, and challenges get you to do that. If you feel like you are the creator of your reality, you are not a victim, your life is going to mirror that. But really, it's a reprogramming of the mind game.
Oh, 100%.
Times, we slip into this is happening to me, not for me. So life challenges us like frequently to go to this place of, this is happening for me, this is a gift. And then sometimes the nervous system isn't on board with the brain is saying, so then we got to do some healing work. So it's a thing, but it's possible. It's possible.
It's all possible. 100%. Anything that you desire or what you're looking to create, you can do it.
Yeah. And I would say to your listeners, if they feel that expanded feeling in their chest, let that be their sign of their.
Yeah, I like that. I love that. That excitement, that kind of like butterflies in your stomach kind of feeling, like, oh, this is what I've been looking for. Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right, Nikki, thank you so much for being a guest. Wow, sometimes my mouth,
I understand.
Being a guest on my podcast. I really loved having you. Maybe someday we can do it again. And thank you so much. I'm going to link all of his stuff in the show notes. So if you want to look up Nikki, it's going to be right there. And I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, no problem at all. I loved it.
Me too.
Thank you so much for listening to You Can Call Me Goddess. I am so happy that you joined us in this show today. If you feel like this podcast gave you any sort of life change or value, then share it with someone you think would also get a lot of value out of it, because maybe it could just be that one thing that changes that person's life. If you enjoyed the show, please give it a nice rating below or in the show, because we would love to expand more on topics that you enjoy and keep this podcast up and running. Anyways, thank you, beautiful. And